Okay, everybody, we are now going to head over to the Quaver Showcase run. Sorry about the slight delay here. The way that this is going to work is a little bit differently to how we've done other runs, so just bear with us a moment. If things are a little bit loud to begin with, then please let me know. I'm going to try and sort it out at the same time, but if things are too loud, please do get in touch. Let me know in the chat and I'll sort those out as quickly as possible. So we're going to go over to the Quaver run now. And we're going to introduce the runners and the runner, razorflamekun, and of course the co-commentators. So guys, if you want to introduce yourselves, and then we'll get things going.
Razor, you can go first.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah,
okay, so 1 second really quick. That's still too loud. So my name is razorflamekun, and with me is a good friend of mine who's going to be helping me commentate the run. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Beat43210, and today I'm going to be helping co-commentate Razor Flame's speed run of Quaver, or at least showcase of Quaver.
Yeah, so the showcase is going to comprise of 14 songs, and before we do anything, I'm going to have to, of course, I shouldn't have quit Quaver.
Have we got another issue as we did have last time?
I just have to close Steam and then log back in. Won't be that big of a delay. But yeah, so Quaver is a VSRG, or vertical scrolling rhythm game. I think DDR, or more likely Osumania. That's what this game is like. It has some differences between those two games, which we will explain. First off, I'm just going to go into single player. I'm going to get to a song, just any song. I'm going to show the map. So normally in Osumania, if you play Osumania, the notes scroll down, but I'm more used to DDR and in the groove, so I have it scrolling up. Other than that, there are two different colored notes. The white notes are the 1 and 4 columns, and the blue notes are 2 and 3 columns, and that's all it means. In addition, you see that there's right here, there's a judgment. When I'm playing, there's going to be more than just marvelous, but marvelous is the actual marvelous, perfect, good. Perfect, great, good, okay, and then miss. I can actually go and not in options and modifiers, and I can show you. These are the judgment timings that I'm going to be playing on. So you have 18 milliseconds to, you have to hit a note within 18 milliseconds to get a marvelous, 43 to get a perfect, 76 and so on to get the rest of the judgments. In addition, you'll see the number here. That is the combo. The more notes you hit in succession without getting a miss, the combo goes up. In addition, there's you might notice in this song that there's, let's see, where there's some, I think it was towards the end. Yeah, there's LNs, or I actually don't know what LN stands for. Do you know what it stands for, Beat?
I mean, I've always heard LNs as long notes.
Yeah, basically they're notes that you have to hold and then release when they end. I think they're like line notes or something like that, but that should be everything that you need to know. There's actually one other thing. There's also modifiers you can play in the game. On some songs, I'm actually going to be playing with some modifiers on. And I'll quickly go over those. So I'm going to be playing with mirror. What mirror does is it just flips the map horizontally. So think note that's normally on the left would be on the right, and so on. But it does it for every note in the map. And then I'm also going to be either lowering or raising the rate or the speed of the song. and we'll go through that as needed as well. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and stop. I'm going to be back at the end of the run, but until the end of the run, I'm going to let Beat take over. So see you guys at the end of the run.
Okay, we're gonna get the
Alright.
music on from the stream, and I'll let you guys know when you're ready to start.
That is all good.
Okay, I think we're okay on sound. I'll just double check that on the stream. If we need to bring the sound down or anything, I'll let you know. But if you're ready to start, we're ready to start, and give me a countdown and we'll begin.
I'm ready to go, so 3, 2, 1, here we go.
Has the timer started, yeah? Oh. Okay.
I assume it started.
Yeah, I started the timer.
You confirm it has started.
Yeah, I've started the timer, so I'm assuming that he started, so I think we're okay.
So, first song in the list that was provided to me by Razorflame is a song that is called "The Future of Warfare," that is sped up about 25%. It's a song that is 2.5 minutes long. Fairly nice introductory start to what will be a series of songs that will have a various level of difficulty within them. Although, is it me or is Razorflame playing with one hand? Oh, actually, no, he's playing with two hands. His other hand is just off cam. But so right now he's doing pretty alright. He's currently sitting on a full combo with a 97.2 accuracy. If you're wondering what some of the other numbers refer to on the list, I can go through them fairly quickly. So I believe the top left, in the very, very top left, you have the score. Now, all songs are recalculated so that way the highest score is a million points. So for songs that have a lot more notes, each individual note will be worth less. If there's only fewer notes, like on easier songs, and each note would be weighed a lot more. The second bottom number on the left is what is known as the performance rating, which is just like an arbitrary number that is given to, I guess, as a reflection of how well you performed in the song. So songs, this is heavily tied in with the difficulty that is written on each song. So a song that is rated at a level 16, if you're playing very well, you'll get somewhere around 16. As Razorflame did explain, that the middle of the song, the middle number on the chart is a max combo, and we'll go through some of the others later as we move on to the second song, which is none other than Shinsekai, which is a very popular rhythm song, at least in Osu. Now for this song, he will be playing this at nearly just over 1.5 times rate, which means he will be playing the song about 55% faster than it normally is. Now on the top right, you'll notice that there's a bit of percentage number. This is a reflection of accuracy in the game. So if you add all the marvelouses and perfects and greats and so forth, each note will weigh, like the added weighed values of those notes will determine your accuracy that you performed in a particular song. If I remember correctly, giving a marvelous is the best rating, well, the best result you want, as it gives you a 100% weighing. Getting a getting a perfect has a weighting of 97.5%. Getting a great is, I believe, 62. And the lower you go, it gets increasingly worse. Where a miss is a negative 100%. No, sorry, a negative 50%, and getting an okay is a negative 100%. It's supposed to be some sort of, like, anti-mashing mechanism. And punishes you more if you mash crazy, as you're more likely to pick up a lot more okays than misses. Which is a bit strange, but, I don't, you know, Quaver, that's how they decide to do things. And this is, the next song we have is Syntax. This is the very first SV pick. So, on top of, so far in the first two songs that we've seen, the songs have been played relatively straightforward. You know, you just see the notes scrolling up, and when it gets to the judgment line, you just hit it, right? Very straightforward. How could it possibly be more complicated than that? Well, Quaver and like a lot of other rhythm games, they have various scroll speeds in which notes appear at different rates, or at least how fast the note reaches from the bottom of the screen to the top is varied. This can manipulate your perception of how close the note is to the judgment line, and as such requires you to be a lot more precise, as it normally tends to flow with the song. Now this can be a little bit weird because in normal cases, you know, it will slow down just a little bit and speed up a lot more, but more intense, I guess, patterns involve notes that will just teleport out of nowhere, notes that will go backwards before going forwards again, and notes that can sometimes bounce from the ground like it's rising out of the grave or something. This is part of the reason why, for some songs, Razorflame has had needed to mute himself, because obviously he's not going to be able to precisely recall when he needs to adjust his timing if I'm constantly speaking over him. Now, some of the songs that are being played in this showcase, they were featured in a tournament that happened recently. Quaver officially ran their first tournament. It's a game that is still in early access and is free and available to play on Steam for anyone if they want. And some of the songs that were picked in that tournament are being played here. I believe this was one of them, as there is a competitive scene behind the game in terms of players competing against each other to perform well, given a list of maps that they get a week to prepare for. And finally, to wrap up the numbers on the top banner, I guess the top half of the screen, if you look at the top right, number on the bottom is a flickering number between 8 and 12. That just represents how quickly Razorflame is hitting notes. It's basically like a note per second binary. You know, think of like frames per second, but you know how many notes he's hitting in the past like second or so. That is. So obviously, if there's a lot more notes on the screen that he has to hit, like a lot more inputs that he needs to bring in, then obviously he will make more inputs, and that will raise that number higher. Nothing particularly fancy, but it's a thing that exists. Now, up next, we have a song that is known as Kira Kira Time. That will be played 70% faster than originally intended. Although he's run 75% there, so he might be playing it a bit faster than what he told me he was going to do. The obvious difference of changing the rates with these songs is fairly straightforward. If you're playing a song at a faster rate, the notes are obviously going to appear at a much faster pace, meaning that you must put in more effort to hit the notes as they are much closer to each other. Obviously, there can be a bit of an increase in the scroll speed of the notes, but you can adjust that individually using one of Quaver's many features that it has. The song itself would also go much faster, so it might sound a bit weirder. Like, just imagine listening to any mainstream song on double, like on twice the speed. You'll have some sort of idea of what I'm talking about. But and obviously, if you're playing a song at a faster rate, the song itself will be a lot shorter. This song would normally be about nearly minute 45, but because we're playing this at 70%, 75% of the speed, it will only be just over a minute long, which makes things a bit quicker. So up next we have the song Aether Ritual, which is very infamous in another rhythm game entirely, which is where I mainly play from Osu, which, as Razorflame described earlier, Quaver was inspired by games like Osu Mania, which is a mini mode under Osu. I don't actually play that much Quaver, but I did help commentate for the tournaments and whatnot, and that is why Razorflame did recruit me to take part and I guess be a bit of a guest for this showcase run. And at least in the communities that I'm involved with, this song is infamous for all the wrong reasons. Mainly because the song has a lot of what was known as 1/8 notes. So you might have noticed throughout the song that notes will have different timings between each other. Most songs are regularly timed to 1/4 timing signatures. However, when things get more difficult and more complex, you'll notice that some of the timings between each notes are a bit shorter. They're normally what's known as 1/6 and 1/8. Some songs are very weird, where it can also be 1/5 and 1/7, but you need to have a song that's like specific for that. And Aether Ritual is very infamous for having a lot of really weird 1/8. And up next we have Crystal Halo. So Crystal Halo will be played about 50% faster, and it normally is. I will say that this song, unlike the other song that had fluctuations in the scroll speed, this song is different in the sense that it tends to teleport a lot more, almost as if you had like some sort of frame rate drop, and like the screen synchronizes back up, and it's like, hang on a minute, it's actually much closer than we expected. It's funny because it makes it look like there's lag, but I can assure you that there is not actually any lag, as Razorflame is able to stream at a nice frame rate of 500 frames per second. That's pretty nice. Higher frames obviously makes everything look a lot more smoothly, for obvious reasons, and that is quite helpful in every rhythm game generally. Oh yeah, also, sometimes they can be so fast, the teleports can happen so instantly that the notes just appear out of nowhere, and you just have to memorize it. And that is a nice little section there. that Razorflame had to do, and he did it pretty well. Now, all the maps that you see in the game are actually custom made, so there are individuals who take the time. Unlike like DDR or other games that you might find that are like licensed in like arcade games and stuff. Given that Quaver and other games like those are a lot more open source in a sense, people have, I guess, the freedom to go and take songs and just manually map out all the notes in the song, the timing points, any scroll velocity changes, and whatnot. Which makes for a very interesting discussion about copyright, but that is not what we're here to do. And, you know, all the maps are customly made. It gets uploaded to a database in which people can look up the songs and just download them. Some of them are particularly well received by the community and get pushed for ranked, in which people can earn performance rating points, and the total sum of performance rating points determines, you know, the, I guess, ranks in the game. Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see that we've had $600 worth of, or 600 euros worth of donations that was raised over the course of the event. I've never even heard of this speedathon thing before. I got invited to be a guest for this showcase, so it's nice to see that you know, some people are doing some very interesting things. I'm also free to ask any questions if you want. So if there's any questions you want to ask, whether it be about the game, Razor or whatnot, you can feel free to ask. Unlike other type of speedruns where normally the speedrunner would be explaining the tricks and the challenges that we'll be facing before him, this is a lot more different, given that there's a higher level, I wouldn't say maybe a higher level of concentration, I don't know if I'm phrasing that correctly, to the point where they can't even hear other people speak. Which is a bit unusual for a lot of speedruns. Except for maybe if there was, like blindfold speedruns, then I imagine sound is a lot more important, that you need, at least a higher level of, I guess, environment control, or at least with the sound in the environment they're playing in. But this is not a blind speedrun. Although it'd be quite funny if somebody could actually play some of these songs blindfolded. Although I don't want to give anyone ideas. But yeah. I mean, there's also one other thing I could talk about a little bit about the game itself. How high you score in accuracy determines the rank that you get at the end of the song. So if you hit every single note in the song, whether it be 500 or 5,000 notes, all marvelously, which is an extremely tight timing window, and if you can do that without actually losing any perfects whatsoever, you can get what is known as an X rating, which only happens if you have an accuracy of 100%, but I can assure you that it is extremely hard to do so. and most people end up getting anywhere between 90, like anywhere outside of 100% is actually, if you get, I think, 99% or higher is S plus. If you stay above 95%, it's S rating, and then from 90% to 95, it is A rank, and then every 10% below that is B, C, D. And then I believe it just goes straight to F, because apparently they didn't like the letter E. Or something. I don't know. So you notice that even songs that are like not ranked in the game, which is also a bit of a manual process to do, there are leaderboards that are still existent. The only difference being that some of them, the songs that are ranked, are counted towards people's like total performance rating, and in turn, their current measurement of rank that exists in the game. Because if you're playing a lot of songs that are higher rated, well, you know, if you're playing a lot of songs that are higher rated and you're playing them very well, you'll be an easier time to pick up rating points. Also, this is another SV pick that exists in the song. Yes, the notes did look like they were going backwards, like they were rising from the ground. It was really fun to watch, I will say. I am personally a bit of a sucker for songs that have SV in them. But it's very hard to map, because, you know, if you're thinking about just like generally where to place, if you're thinking from a mapping perspective where to place songs, right? You know, it's already hard enough to figure out where to place all the notes, but then also to come up with the various SV tricks, like this one, for example. So the SV trick that is happening in this case, the game is just teleporting all the notes straight away, but from your perspective, and from my perspective, and from everyone else's perspective, the entire chart's just frozen. So you gotta still keep playing to the same rate that you'd normally do, but it looks like the game stopped. And the notes will just disappear alongside as you hit the notes. It's very tricky stuff. And you can tell because Razorflame is getting 89%, which is B rating. Although he is fighting to get an A rank. So, certainly a blast indeed. The game can also, like, all the aspects of the game, so like the health bar that exists on the right hand corner that we largely ignore, the notes, the colors, the design can all be modified individually as well. So there's a fair amount of skin customization that can go into this game, if you're into that sort of stuff. I know somebody made a skin in a different rhythm game where all the notes are just like me character faces. You know, the channel, you know, the Wii console, the little, I think they call them Mii's or whatnot. The, you know, like little figurines, you could customize their faces and stuff. Yeah, someone took that and just used that as their notes instead, which was kind of hilarious. Although that is not the case here. Razorflame had a really missed opportunity. Although it's probably a bit more, probably preferred to actually pick a more bland skin in this case. So, up next is Leave Alone is the next song that is being played. As we approach the end of, well, more like to the later stages of this particular showcase. And as Razorflame will soon be wrapping up a little bit of the game that is currently available. I know the game's been in early development early access development for a while, and I believe that there's been a lot of evolution in that time of how the game has flown. The game itself also features a multiplayer aspect to the game, so you're able to lobby up into online lobbies that are created, and people can take turns picking charts that they particularly like and playing them on whatever rates or modifiers that they like. If you have, you can also, if you have a subscription to the game, which they use donor tag, which is very similar to supporter tags in Osu. You also have the option of spectating games with the spectator client that is built into the game, which is really nice. So you're able to actually watch two players compete against each other side by side. Even though score is completely irrelevant for now, as accuracy is the only thing that currently matters in the game, that may or may not change when things, I guess, evolve. Jules from EveryoneCan here has been dropping by over the last 3 days, and things have been looking really good. That is good to hear. Nice to see that things have worked out well for the speedrun and the marathon as a whole. Yeah, huge thanks for the support too. Yeah, no worries. I mean, 100%. I personally I wasn't aware of this before. This got started, and Razorflame told me, "Hey, you want to help me? You want to help me just talk a little bit about the game and commentate a little bit over the showcase of Quaver." And I was like, "All right, sure." And then he told me, "Oh, this is like a whole marathon / speedrunning / showcasing community." I was like, "Oh, okay." It's definitely a completely different environment to what I'm used to. Oh, yeah, up next is Pad for Pandas. This is a really fun SV pick. So, yeah, absolutely good fun. And I personally like to explain the maps as they go along, because I mean the song itself is also like 3 minutes long. So, like you saw with some of the other weird picks, the song will manipulate its speed to the point where it's going backwards. And you'll actually notice that some notes may appear from the ground, which is a little bit weird, but I assure you is a perfectly normal SV trick. That is quite scary, because all the notes are coming from, or at least in Razorflame's case, from the bottom up to the judgment line. The last thing you expect to see is notes coming from behind the judgment line, and then coming from the top and then immediately sliding back up. It's an unusual trick in a sense. You might only find it with DDR and stuff. You know what though? This game should really have some of those DDR modifiers that exist. Although I don't know how. Although it'll probably break the game's skins or whatnot. Because if you play some of the DDR stuff, there are some really interesting modifiers that exist. Yes, this is Quaver. This is a open source rhythm game that is very similar to another open source rhythm game known as Osumania. You essentially play notes. You essentially download maps and you download some songs, and then you'll see notes appearing from the top to the bottom, which except for Razor's case, he does the other way around. And you just try to hit the notes of the timing for the song. The game currently also has only 2 modes right now, which is 4-key and 7-key. A really simple interface. We play a game from a small indie that is called Ding Dong, and it's used only 1 button, and it's so addictive and really well thought out. Yeah, there are various rhythm games that exist. Some of them are way more complicated. Some of them are way more simple. Like, if you wanted to make things more complicated, you could turn on some of the 7-key maps that exist. I know Razor's not doing any of them for this particular showcase, but imagine having 7 lanes to hit buttons from instead of just 4. Which actually is more complicated than you think, because right now he has like 2, like let's say the 2 left columns, he may use his left hand to hit everything, and then his 2 right columns he'll use his 2 fingers on his right hand. If you have a 7 lanes as a whole, and it's like you got to do 3 on one hand, 3 on the other, and then you have to either like use one of your thumbs or something, which is a lot more complicated in a sense. So, yeah, I know Quaver doesn't have other keys that exist for now. They only have just the 4-key and 7-key. However, maybe in the future, one day, when they actually finalize the game and whatnot, they may introduce like 1-key columns or 2-key columns and whatnot. So you only just use one button that you just press repeatedly. I know at least in Oceania, which is a more established community that has been around for much longer than Quaver, some guy ran an entire tournament where all the maps were 1 key, which was funny. It's a big joke. But, you know, maybe Quaver may have more than just 4 and 7 someday. So, yeah, so there's only 2 more songs that are left in this particular showcase. I hope you guys have been enjoying the songs that Razor Flame has picked out. Some songs you'll probably enjoy, some songs you may or may not. I mean, I believe he's gone for... I believe he's gone for a more diverse set of... not only in terms of maps itself, like some of the SV picks, and some just like the longer notes, regular notes, and so forth, but also variety in song selection as well. Well, I say song selection, but obviously sometimes some songs... I mean, at the end of the day, they're just audio files, so sometimes some people can actually make jokes and like use joke files instead. So they take like some really ridiculously cringy like audio file, sound effect, whatever, and then they just map that instead. Although that is not the case for this speedrun, I think. Or showcase, I think. So, Lost Memory, which is the song he's currently playing, is the second last song. It's about just over 5 minutes in length. So we'll take a fair bit of time.
Do you know how many songs are left, by the way, just out of curiosity?
Just one more song after this.
So this one, and then the one more song after this. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so this song is supposed to take place, and then after that we have Eternuous, which is 4.5 minutes according to the list that Razor Flame gave me.
No problem. We are now 32 minutes in, or 33 minutes in as it is now, just turned 33. So yeah, I imagine we'll be underestimated. It's fine. I mean, it's not a huge issue anyway. This is the last run of the marathon, so it's not a problem when it finishes.
Exactly, and then, I mean, if he really wanted to drag out the time, he could just keep picking like more songs if he wanted to. But
I would like us to finish within at least, like, pretty much within the next 20 minutes. I'd like us to be finished. So yeah, one more song after this one will be fine.
Yeah, it's a longer song too. It's about 4.5 minutes. So yeah, we should be done within 10. Like 41 minutes, 42 minutes should be alright.
Yeah, that's no worries. That's pretty good. That's alright.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, I'll mute myself again. We haven't got any donations in, but if anybody does want to donate, I'll post a link in the chat.
No worries. It's all good. And if you also have any final questions you want to ask about the game itself, you can go ahead and do so. Because, I mean, I can sit here and talk about the songs and the patterns all day, but... you know... It is, yeah, the game itself is, as Jules was saying before, it's very simple in interface, and he might have not been here earlier when I was talking about the game itself a lot more, but the game can also be customized, like all the aspects that you see here, like the note colors, the notes themselves, like what the actual box is, the health bar, and the interface as a whole, it can be actually manually skinned. So if you're a particularly good graphics designer, you can actually customize things however you like. Some people do it to try and simplify things, because if the interface is a lot more simpler, your brain has less inputs, like less information to process, which makes you a bit faster. Other people like to pick skins because they're to like make jokes or something. And I did talk about how somebody had like entire me faces as column skins, but yeah, there is a fair amount of customability that can happen. There's also I mean, Razorflame didn't actually use this, but maybe another time if he does showcase this again, you can actually like cover up the screen. So you can actually set it so that way you don't actually see the bottom half of the screen, or what's normally the top half, in this case the bottom half of the screen. So you do actually see less of the board as a whole, which gives you less time to react. Some players actually prefer playing it like that for whatever reason. As I said before, they sacrifice the ability to, with less time to react to particular notes in return of having less information to process, which works well for some people. Other people do it the other way around, where they cover up in this case, the top half of the screen. So you see the notes coming in, but then you have to memorize like maybe a second, like the final second before the notes actually hit the judgment line. So you have to constantly delay your inputs a fair bit. And the very last song here is going to be Lost Memory. So the song will be about 4.5 minutes long, which means we should finish this up at about 42 minutes. But yeah. So you see the X rating on the top, which you will lose almost immediately, and he will never get that back because he's no longer at 100%. Do stay tuned, because after this song finishes, or at least maybe after the stream as a whole finishes, I don't know when InstaSim's going to do it, but he has apparently an announcement he wants to make regarding what they're going to do next for InstaSpeedathon, which his whole channel is based on. But yeah. Final reminder for everybody, this game is in early access. It is free to play on Steam. So if you do have a Steam account, you can go ahead and do... I don't know if you can actually get... I think you have to have Steam in order to play this. Which is which for some people may be a bit unfortunate, but other people might actually like the convenience, given how popular Steam is in the PC gaming community. But yeah, you will notice that, you might have noticed throughout the entirety of the showcase that a lot of notes have to be hit with multiple columns at once. So if you see here that if there are 4 notes on all the columns, he has to hit all 4 of the lanes at the same time. So there'd be a lot of synchronization with all his fingers as he hits all those notes. There are some maps that intentionally try and wear you down by having them having like a particular set of notes one after the other, back to back on the same column. So like let's say you take your index finger on the first column, and you're constantly just hitting the index finger on that column over and over again, like repeatedly back to back. Your finger can get tired. Those are, I believe, referred to as jacks. Yeah, there's like a huge terminology, I guess, database regarding all the different patterns and combination of patterns. We went through some of the very basics here, but it is quite complex. I didn't want to spend. I didn't think it'd be much sense to spend 45 minutes trying to break down an entire database of terminology that, for a lot of people, may be very unfamiliar. When for a fair number of people, this may be the first time they've even seen anything related to rhythm games. Or at least in particular this rhythm game. And Intasim saying in the chat, he'll probably say this again when things are done here, that all proceeds going directly to EveryoneCan. He's pretty happy with the $600 or 600 euros that was raised throughout the entirety of this fundraiser. So he's personally thankful for the gratitude that people have given. And that is all good. Especially if it can help people after what's been a rough year for some, in more ways than one. But yeah, here we go. The song should be approaching its end in the final seconds here. Also, fun fact, I wasn't actually able to listen to the music the whole time, because, yeah, we could watch the stream, which is totally fine, but I'm also hearing myself, so I had to mute the stream on my end. Lamel. I didn't want to say anything because I felt like I didn't want to hold things up and delay. I was just like, alright, I'll just mute the music on my end and just talk. So, yeah, that will be it for the showcase. All good things come to an end. Alright.
Hello, everyone.
How did you feel playing 13 maps in front of about 11 people?
The last map in particular is very hard for me. I'm not that used to quads yet, even though Eternus had some quads, which was the 13th map. There were a lot less of them, and they were spaced a lot further apart than they were on Lost Memory. Other than that, I got 4 PBs.
Good, you got 4 personal bests, so that's pretty good.
Yep. Other than that, I really, when I played the last 2 maps, Eternus and Lost Memory, I actually move my whole body up and down when I play, especially during the quad section of Lost Memory.
Yeah.
Yep, both of them are really hard maps if you play them on 1 times. I have to play them on lower rate because I can't pass them on 1x. But I play them on lower rates to showcase that you can make any map basically work for you.
You can make maps as easy or as hard as you want.
Yeah, like there's a infamous map in Quaver called 8855 map by Piano Luigi. It's like a 42 or 43 on 1x. And I can pass it. I've passed it on half time, 0.5 times rate.
Yeah. We didn't get any donations in the run. The chat was mostly silent, so I just had to spend a lot of time just talking about the game itself and different aspects.
That's good because I realized I left a few things out in the intro, like the overlay.
No, it was all good because
that's good.
We had 45 minutes, so I was like, I had plenty of time to just talk about the game itself or different aspects of it.
Well, the good news is there's still the incentive.
I guess.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the incentive. Have you shown that off yet? Or is that something?
No.
Wait. What's the incentive? What?
DJ Max 5 respect. I'm going to be playing two. I'm going to be playing 2 maps on that game.
Forgot about the incentive. You've reminded me about that. We've got one more thing that Razor's going to show us, guys. It's the incentive. It's the
DJ Max 5 respect.
That's the one.
It's another VSRG that beat us down scroll though. Anyways, I had to close and reopen Steam because Quaver's still being an idiot.
No, that's fine. I'll just respond to a few things in the chat. So Jules from EveryoneCan has actually been in the chat. So welcome to Jules. Nikki was in the chat earlier. So just a welcome to to everybody who's been here from EveryoneCan. So yeah, as Jules is mentioning. So first of all, I'll just go through some of the chat here. So Piano Luigi says thank you for the showcase. And lots of people saying GGs. Jules saying all money raised goes straight to helping disabled children and young people to access gaming as well as gaming together in our gaming sessions, which is absolutely one of the main reasons why we are supporting EveryoneCan here. They really do a lot of work. It's absolutely incredible, and the total we've raised is absolutely amazing. Major thanks to all of us, from us all to all contributors too, and so EveryoneCan. Huge thank you to all of you as well for the support and for just sharing the marathon as well. It's been absolutely incredible weekend. An interesting point from Viking actually, and this is partly my own fault because I forgot to do this, is to get the YouTube channel and putting it right in the center of the Twitch channel. Thank you for the reminder. I'll get that sorted after the marathon.
All right, I'm ready to go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. If I could just finish responding to this very quickly first, and then we'll get on to that.
Sure.
So the YouTube channel does pretty much have exactly the same name and everything as the Twitch channel, but I will get that onto the panels as well, because that is something I never did before, because we only got the channel last year or a year or two ago or something like that, so we haven't really had the channel for very long, but I will get that sorted. So we're going to go over now to Razor again, and we're going to have the DJ Respect 5 run, or the DJ Max Respect 5, and this is the incentive that has been met. We're going to have a nice go at this then.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 songs. I originally was only going to do 1, but I played another map and like it, so we're going to play 2.
Yeah, that's fine. Are you going to be muted again on Discord?
Yeah, I'll be muted on Discord again. You can just sit back and watch if you want.
Yeah,
good. I'll sit back and talk with the stream chat and whatnot.
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, deafen myself, and then we're going to play 2 songs, and then we're going to,
I guess, yeah. Good luck. All right, so DJ Respect 5. Now, me personally, I've never even heard of this game before, but Razorflame did say it was very similar to these digital, sound games, digital rhythm games. So I am not surprised if the mechanics will be different, but generally very similar. So unlike Quaver, this game looks like it. I wonder if people have custom made these or not. I don't think they have. I think these are like they're actual designers that have made these songs in particular. I could be wrong on that though. So yeah, okay, so it's very similar to. It looks like it's very similar to Quaver in the sense that there are still 4 columns that you got to read and input notes from. So it's still 4 keys. Now, razorflame did make a different. Noted that unlike Quaver, which for him he customly made it to be upstreamed, so you scroll like the notes scroll from the down up. Is now just what is the default in both other very similar games like this, like Quaver and Osimania and whatnot, where it's actually top down. Except this time, wait, why does the combo start at 2000? What the? Oh man, that's insane. Imagine having a 2000 combo head start. Hey. I don't know. But, yeah, unlike, I guess unlike Quaver, which you can actually, like, modify the background, in this case, like, Quaver and Osimania and whatnot, like, people just, for the most part, they just put, like, a picture in the background, which they may or may not steal from other people, but, other people also make videos, like, Digital DJ Respect 5 seems to have done. In Quaver, at least, I know you can actually dim the background to either like a certain percentage or entirely if you find it distracting. He has not done so here, so it may be a little bit hard to read for the audience, but maybe a bit more exciting, a bit more splash. Because you have other things to like generally look at while the song's playing, which may be of some interest to some people. So, yeah, InstaSpeedathon did say he will be making a panel for plugging the YouTube channel afterwards, where you'll have the VODs of all the other speedruns and showcases and whatnot that had occurred. So, I guess there's also different button lanes in this game. I think 4 and 7 are probably the most popular ones that you'll find in these type of rhythm games. 4 because of Dance Dance Revolution, and 7 because of I think there's like an arcade rhythm game that's known, I believe, as SDVX or Sound Vortex, and that game has 7 key buttons you have to input. So when you have a lot of these other rhythm games like Quaver, DJ Respect 5, OS and whatnot, they will have 4 and 7 always in mind to cater to those players. Oh, I guess the combo just carries over from like other songs and stuff that you do. That explains it. They're also going up by a factor of 4, which is weird. But hey, I'm not complaining. Oh, that must be in relation to the combo. So, also, I think there may be 6 buttons, because I think the side tracks, I believe that on top of the 4 lanes that he's playing in, there's also 2 side tracks. I don't know if that's actually a thing. I might just be misreading things. So yeah, I believe it looks like Viking. It looks like he did indeed go around making the panel afterwards. So rest assured, Viking, your questions will be answered. Heck, even I might go check out some of the stuff afterwards. Like I said, I didn't even know that this thing was even a thing until like a few days ago, so I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, get some speedrunning I can listen to in the background. Now, it's really funny because in some games, not particularly in Quaver or in Oceania, but at least in other games like DDR, there are actually, so for the most part, people just look at notes and you just try and hit them, right? Like, generally, you look at the notes, you wait for the notes to come down, you try and hit them. However, in some games like Dance Dance Revolution, there are actually mines that exist. So there are like particular notes that will scroll that you need to intentionally avoid, which can be very confusing. Although Quaver hasn't done that yet. If they do someday, that is going to be very dangerous. And it looks like both of the songs are just wrapped up here. So, your timetable for the VODs, they will hopefully be made tomorrow, or at least at the very least they'll be ready on Twitch by the end of this coming week. And then he'll be posting them onto YouTube gradually starting on the 1st.
Hello. So that's the first time I've ever full comboed that song.
Hey, good job.
The two parts that really screw me over on that map on the flyaway map are the two I believe they're fourth note segments.
Okay, I see.
The two streams. I just somehow can't read them on down scroll. I mean, if that was up scroll, I'd be able to pass on like 1.3, 1.4 pretty easily, but down scroll is much harder for me. It's interesting though because I full combo the map I haven't full combo before, and I didn't full combo the map I full comboed like 20 times.
Marathon
Consistency,
luck.
Man.
Yeah. So that game's quite a bit different. The mode I was playing, freestyle, keeps your combo left over from the previous song and puts it towards the next song. Although it does, the combo that you get from the previous song does not apply to the next song. In terms of scoring, each song has its own max combo that it can get, including the multiplier from the Fever mode, which I have to set to auto, so it automatically does it. So you can get up to like 5 times. So every note counts as 5 notes basically when you're at max Fever.
I noticed that when we were playing, we were like, wait a minute, we're starting with like 2,000 combo. What the heck is this?
Yeah. That was from my practice. I full comboed the last half of Flyaway, and then that's why there's actually achievements that you can get in game for getting a certain number of combo, and I think one of them is to get maintain a 100,000 combo, and one of them is to maintain 1,000,000 combo.
Yep. So it's about just consistency, hitting the same things over and over again, and then keeping it up.
Yeah. And then there's like with music games like DDR. I think DDR Supernova had that master mode or what universe mode or whatever it's called, where in order to unlock everything in the game, you had to AAA every song in the game. This game's like that. You have to pass every single song. You have to max combo every single song to unlock something, and you have to AAA every single song on every single difficulty.
Yep.
To unlock something.
Yeah, it's just like some rhythm games where there's progress that is locked. There's like some songs or some difficulties like high are locked behind
In this game, they you might have noticed I got a level up. It has a level up system based on the number of points you get in any game mode. And when you level up, you unlock stuff. There's 100 levels in the game.
Nice.
So at level 100, you have every song unlocked except for the DLC songs.
Of course.
I have most of the DLC. There's like 4. There's like 6 I don't have that I am going to be getting at some point when they're on sale.
Yay.
Anyways, thanks Pete for commentating, and thanks InstaSim for having me.
No problem at all. Thank you for the other run, and it was a pretty nice, chilled way, I think, to end the marathon there. So I just want to say a huge thank you to you. A huge thank you to everyone who's watching. Stay tuned, everybody. If you're watching right now, stay tuned. We have an announcement to make, and I'll be making that in a couple of minutes' time. We are going to go over to the interval very, very quickly, and then I'll get my webcam on, and we'll show you. I'll tell you guys what that announcement is. So don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back. And now is the last chance for any final donations as well towards the InstaSpeedathon 2021 fundraiser, for me to read them also out over on the stream. So if you have any final donations to make, now is the time to make them, or forever hold your peace. Well, not necessarily. You can still donate, they just won't be read out on stream because there won't be a stream. But you know, any final donations, now is the time for you to make them. The total we have at the moment is £601.85. That all goes directly to EveryoneCan, which is absolutely fantastic. That total is incredible. I just want to say a huge, huge, huge thank you to everybody who has donated over this weekend. Everyone who's watched, everyone who's followed, everyone who has taken part. I just want to say a huge, huge thank you. But we're now going to go over to the interval, and then we'll have the announcement to make. So thank you, Razor. Do you have any final words you'd like to say before we end?
No. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.
See you next time.